Well, good morning and half a day. First, let me thank Lieutenant Governor for his leadership and for his remarks this morning, and for the Governor again for putting together this wonderful event. It is such a wonderful opportunity to have important dialogue. We're fortunate to have civilian leaders here who understand that security and prosperity are linked and who are willing to stand side by side with the military in that work. I also want to thank the organizers of this forum and each of you. The fact that we have representatives from government, from industry, from academia, and from the Pacific neighbors gathered here sends a powerful message. Guam's defense readiness is not just a military issue, it is a shared responsibility and important to the defense of the entire region. Before I look ahead to today's discussion, I want to take a moment to ask a simple question. What happens if we choose not to meet aggression with a clear signal that the cost for that aggression will be unbearable? What happens if we fail to improve our readiness? What happens if we allow deterrence to erode? History is clear. When aggressors believe others lack the will or ability to respond, they test the boundaries. This island understands this well from its experience in 1941. In Korea in 1950, assessments that the U.S. would not intervene encouraged the North to cross the 38th parallel. And there are plenty of other examples. If deterrence falters here in the Pacific, we can expect attempts to isolate countries diplomatically, to disrupt supply chains and energy grids, and if unchecked, even to directly threaten the island and the people who live here. The lesson is clear. Cost of prevention through readiness and deterrence is far less than the cost of response after deterrence fails. That is why the work done yesterday and the conversations we have today matter so much. It must be clear to those who wish harm to the United States homeland that they will not only fail in the attack, but the price for the attempt will be unbearable. Every project, every exercise, everything we do is to ensure we are ready to deny aggression and to ensure we are ready and others know we are ready to exact a cost for the attempt. For most of us in the room here today, military and civilian, Guam is home. It is where we live, where we serve, and in many cases, where our families build their lives. The conditions we create here, energy resilience, infrastructure reliability, secure supply chains, robust cybersecurity, directly determine whether they can succeed in their mission. And so, our stake in these discussions is simple. When Guam is strong, our deterrence is credible. When Guam is weak, our deterrence is at risk. That is why I want to express my appreciation for the focus of today's program. Partnering with civilian authorities, because in crisis, there can be no seams between the military and civil authorities. We must plan together, exercise together, and respond together. Policymaking for defense readiness, because decisions at the federal, territorial, and local levels must align. If the policies conflict, execution falters. Defense and economic development, because security and prosperity are not competing goals. They are mutually reinforcing. A strong defense presence fuels a strong economy, and a strong economy makes defense sustainable. Energy criticality, because fuel, power, and resilient grids are as decisive in conflict as soldiers, ships, or aircraft. Without energy, the joint force cannot fight, and the community cannot thrive. Infrastructure and supply chains, because ports, airfields, roads, and digital networks are the arteries of readiness. If they fail, everything else fails. AI-driven cybersecurity, because our networks are now battlefields. They must be defended as surely as our shores. And additive manufacturing, because the ability to print a critical part on island in hours instead of waiting weeks for it to arrive could decide whether operations succeed or fail. Each of these topics may seem distinct, but together they are the system of resilience that makes deterrence credible. So as we begin day 2, I want to emphasize 3 things. First, my deep appreciation for the leadership of Guam, for the commitment of our partners, and for the expertise represented in this room. Second, the military's perspective, that every discussion today is not theoretical. These are the enablers that allow us to defend, deter, and prevail if challenged. And third, a reminder, yesterday we talked about the why. Today, we focus on the how, and the how is what turns strategy into reality. Thank you for your partnership, thank you for your commitment, and thank you for standing with us in ensuring that Guam remains secure, resilient, and unshakable. Thank you.